being able to process those decisions and process those relationships actually can really help you in your career movement. Welcome to the Bears and Lions podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Vaught, and this is the podcast where we challenge our present by viewing our past. I'm a firm believer that our greatest future will always lie within the correct view of our past. Because when you actually look at your past through the lens of where you are right now, what you could be doing in the future, you're going to start to see how far you've come, all the incredible things that you've experienced. Yeah, there's been tough times, but that's part of life. It's important that we look at those tough times and really learn from them and then carry those lessons into the future with ferocity and joy. And that's our goal, is to always step into the future. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you about the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon and why it actually is really important to understand how that works. Now, you may be saying, what are you talking about? Why Kevin Bacon? Okay, so there's this really weird game, and I just remember very briefly kind of getting to know it. It's the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, or Bacon's Law. It's like this parlor game where the players will challenge each other to arbitrarily choose an actor, and then you have to connect them to each other until you have a film with both of those actors in it. Now, this has also been changed. So there's actually something called Hollywoodle, which is very similar, or Connect the Stars is the same idea. Maybe you've played this game, or Connections in a way. I think it was like action, like a play on words. This is a game that I played for a brief moment in, like, I want to say 2012, maybe. It was like this thing that kind of sparked around. It was really fun to do, but it's all about connecting, different stars until you get to this point where it's a movie. Nowadays, we can do that pretty quickly. I mean, you could say Kevin Bacon and Chris Pratt, and I forgot. I actually just forgot the Christmas special, the Marvel Christmas special, Guardians of the Galaxy special. It was Kevin Bacon and Chris Pratt. So I don't even have to connect them through different movies. That right there. Anyway, that's how it works. How this impacts your future. This is something that I want to share about today with you and help you understand. I am going through a life change, and it's a life-changing event. Over the last few weeks, I've kind of shared a little bit about it. I've applied to multiple positions over the last month and a half, and I kind of wanted to share about how these connections work. So when you're actually able to pinpoint how things are connected, so whether it's an actor to another actor in different movies, being able to process those decisions and process those relationships actually can really help you in your career movement. So I just want to say, I have just received a life-changing offer for a new job position, and I will be moving in 5 weeks. It's just over a month. I'll be moving from Tennessee to Maryland, which is 10 hours away. It's going to be a complete change of culture, complete change of scenery, complete change. I have no family or friends necessarily in the center of Baltimore. I have a couple friends that are nearby, so I'm very thankful, and I'm going to lean on them and get some time. Some people who I knew in college as well, so that's going to be really cool to get to know them. But I'm going to be in a completely new area. And I share this with you because this is a massive career jump. This is massive for me. And I want to kind of connect the dots. I shared a little bit on the last podcast, but specifically, I'm just going to share with you here. So the way it worked, the current position that I'm at with my company, there's an 18-month commitment when you first sign on. And I knew that. So I knew after 18 months, I was going to have an opportunity to really kind of shine and grow, and needed to prepare for that. I've been in conversations with my manager since day one as well. We applied to some internal positions that I was able to apply for. And if I had gotten those positions, then I would have been able to move into those positions even before the 18-month commitment. So there were some exciting things happening. and I applied to a couple different positions. I got turned down. So I applied to my first position 7 months in, and I knew I wasn't going to get the job, but I was really excited I got an interview. And I made some work connections. In the process, I met up, did some one-on-ones with my manager, did some one-on-ones with a surrounding manager, so her peers, did some one-on-ones with the vice president, AVP of our, and the director of the work that the place that I work at, and got to know a bunch of people. So I was just connecting myself face to face, seniors and mentors. I was face to face meeting with them and just getting to know a bunch of people in that process. Well, those relationships and those work relationships have really paid off because each one has kind of encouraged me in different ways. They've helped me with interview prep. And it got to this point where here we are, lo and behold, I'm reaching my 18 months. It's actually today, which is, I'm recording this on the 25th. So today was my 18-month commitment being met. However, we're going to rewind a month ago. So I've done a bunch of interview prep. My last interview was in April, and I had been turned down, but I was given some really good feedback during my interview by the hiring manager. Absolutely love the hiring manager. He was really kind and walked through exactly what feedback I needed to work on in order to hear yes the next time I applied. So this next position I'm applying for, this was about a month ago. I thought I had a really good opportunity. I have a lot of experience I was applying for an internal position that I thought I would do really well with. It was a 2-part interview. So I was interviewing with 2 separate panels of 2 people. So 4 total panel members. There were 4 total panel members. And in that conversation, there was a first interview with 2, and then the second interview was with the other 2. And I thought it went really, really well. And after a little bit of time, about a week, I was waiting, and they said it would take about 2 weeks. So about a week I was waiting, and I kind of got this mentality of, shoot, I don't know if they're going to say yes now because it's been a while, and I know they're wrapping up interviews. Interesting. So I waited another week, and finally the main hiring manager reached out to me and said, hey, do you have a second to talk? As soon as I read that, I knew it's going to be a no, but that's okay. You're going to hear a lot of no's in life, and I want you to hear me when I say this. You are going to hear a lot of no's in life. A lot of those no's are not forever no's. A lot of those no's are you willing to build the relationship and try a little bit harder? Are you willing to put in a little bit of extra work here and there? Are you willing to develop yourself a little bit more? Those are the no's that are going to really help you out, is if you are willing to reach out and try to hear those no's. And when you hear those no's, are you willing to learn what's the process? Why was it a no? Is there something that I can develop? So the hiring manager of that job about a month ago sat down with me and just told me they weren't going to offer a position, but all 4 of the panel members thought I should be doing this complete separate job. They were like, I don't think he's a good fit for this job particular, but I think he would crush it in this job. Mind you, the job that I was applying for, it was not necessarily a vertical. It was like a horizontal or diagonal jump up. You know, a little bit of a raise, a little bit of a promotion, but it wasn't like massive. And they all liked me, but they were like, I think he should be in this position. So long story short, the hiring manager said, I've got a bunch of connections in that position. We all think you're great, but we just don't think you're going to fit in this job. I want to get you connected. So I said yes. Instead of being upset, instead of being like, no, no worries, thanks, whatever, I said, sure, get me connected. I really appreciate the fact that you put in thought, you put in time, and it was a job that I didn't even know was available for me. And so I did. I met the manager, and within 5 minutes of that conversation with the manager, I was immediately sold. The manager was just exactly what you would want in a manager, right? They say a lot about picking your job is about picking your boss as well. So if you know the managers of the positions that you're going to be in, it's very important because that helps you with that decision. And this was easy to make a decision that I wanted to go for this position because within 5 minutes, I knew that this was a manager that I wanted to work for. Integrity, excitement, passion, everything that you could ask for in a leader. I could 100% tell. So I was like, yeah, I would be interested in this position. They said, cool, meet somebody on the team and see what the job is like. So I met somebody on the team, and within about 5 minutes of talking with that person, I was like, this is somebody I want to be on their team. I want to be in the trenches with this person. And they sold the job too. They were like, this is what the job is like. And I was like, yep, I'm sold. This is me. It's tailor-made for me. I think I'd do great at this job. And they were like, yeah, based on our conversation, I think you're going to do great at this job as well. And I thought it was really cool because they were using terminology as if I was already hired when I haven't even applied for this job. I was just learning about it because I just found out about it. So I said, yeah, I want to apply for this job. And in the course of a week, my life changed. When I say a course of the week, last Monday, I had interview number 1. It was about a 20-minute interview with a recruiter that is basically a screening recruiter, just to basically go through all of the preliminary questions. Interview 2 was about a 20-minute interview, 25-minute interview with the manager that already expressed interest in me working for her. And then interview number 3 was I had to do a presentation, and it was the third final interview with the manager's boss on a Friday. So on last Friday. So Monday was 1, Wednesday was 2, Friday was 3. And it was a wild week. On Monday, I did the interview. On Tuesday, I met with my boss's boss to help with interview prep for interview number 3. Interview number 2. Wednesday, I did interview number 2. On Wednesday afternoon, I got the case study that I had to do the presentation with. And on Thursday afternoon, I did the presentation to the guy who is on the team that I would be applying for. And he was like, yeah, if you do that presentation, you're going to get the job. That afternoon, I did the presentation also to the previous hiring manager from the job I applied to in April, because I kept that relationship, and they were like, yeah, well, I would love to help you out and make sure that you succeed. We want to see you succeed. They also expressed the same thing. If you do that presentation, you're going to get the job. That was encouraging. My manager was encouraging through the whole process, but it was all about relationships. Friday morning before my final interview, the hiring manager from the position that I applied to a month ago that recommended me to this position did a run through with my presentation and said the same thing. I think you're going to do incredible. So I did the presentation Friday afternoon before the weekend. The manager was able to message me and said that, yeah, we're gonna extend an offer. We'd love for you to join this team out here. So I'm going to be moving to Maryland, and that is life. It's crazy and it's strange and it moves at the speed of light. But the reason why I share all of this is because connections are so important. Please, when I say this, I'm not trying to brag on myself and say, wow, like, Kyle, you're so good about this and that. No, I see the value in friendships and building workplace relationships with a correct view. And I know I've shared about this on different podcasts before, but it's so important that you are building, not tearing down, that you are putting in effort to your immediate managers and to the managers that are around and to the people who are around, so that even when you hear a no, just mentally think in your mind, I don't like that answer. Nobody likes hearing no, but it is okay to say, okay, I appreciate you telling me no, and I appreciate that communication, and I hope that we'll be able to grow from this, because some people, I think, will absolutely give you all of the tools for success, even though they may be the person saying no. And I'm very thankful for that group of panel, the panel of 4, that during that last interview, I thought it went really well, and I thought that was a job for me, but they were like, I don't think he's a good fit here, but I think he's going to be a good fit here. And now I have the opportunity to move very vertical with a big jump, life-changing jump. And not only that, life-changing in the sense that I'm moving states. And this time next year, I can't tell you where I'm going to be at or what is going to be taking place. But I can promise you this. I can promise you I'm going to be doing this podcast. And I know this is a shorter episode. It's been a while since I've had a sub 16-minute episode or sub 15-minute episode, whatever it is right now. But I wanted to share that with you and the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. If you haven't played that game, you should look it up. Connect the Stars, Hollywoodle. It's kind of fun. It's a good way to see how connections work. I just want you to understand that in your life right now, there are connections that you have that are extremely beneficial, and you're not seeing them as beneficial. So maybe it is a manager that you don't really get along with, or maybe you do get along with, but you never ask for help. You never ask for, hey, I want to develop my career. Could we do a mock interview? Ask for a mock interview. I've done so many mock interviews in the last 2 months, 3 months, that I genuinely feel like I could interview at any time and be completely okay. And I think people forget to practice and prepare and be prepared. Update your resume. Keep your resume updated. If you are a LinkedIn user, make sure that you get that LinkedIn updated. Now, all of my stuff was internal because I'm still with the same company, and I'm very thankful to be with the same company. I love the company I work for. But all of my stuff is updated on that company website so that they can internally see everything that I've been a part of at the company as well. So make sure that everything is updated. That's going to do it for this conversation. I know it's short. We will have some really cool conversations coming up in the next few weeks. I am going to do some pre-recording as well for when I do make the big move. So that's going to be really exciting. I also recorded another guest session this last weekend. So that is going to be really cool. I'm going to do some editing on it this weekend and see when I'm going to be able to drop that. So it should be the 3rd Sunday in November. That's when we drop those guest sessions, the 3rd Sunday for the rest of this, the 3rd Sunday of the month for the rest of this year. So one in December, one in November. But we're still going to be on point. We're still going to be posting content. We're still going to be posting this. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow me at Kyle_Vaught. That's VS and Victor ATT. If you want to follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter, it's at Kyle Vaught, KYLE, as in Victor ATT. You can find me on YouTube. If you're watching this, please make sure that you like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. If you listen audio versions, we have the audio version available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or iTunes. So make sure that you follow on all platforms. Reach out to me via X or Instagram. I'd love to get to know you. I'd love to have conversations. If there's anything that you would like me to discuss over the next few weeks, please give me a DM or just shoot me a comment on one of my posts and let me know that you have some topics that you would like me to discuss. I know a couple of people have reached out and said anxiety. So we'll be discussing something about anxiety here coming up, actually, and some other aspects that we're working on as well. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I hope that you'll remember to give grace, show love, and as always, stay stellar. Peace.